Okay, so welcome to our interview here on the Brewgooders Pub Quiz, or just prior to the Brewgooders Pub Quiz, second online pub quiz. Obviously, myself, Colin, and Jeff here hosting, but joining us tonight are comic writers Dave Cook and Drew Marr. So, welcome, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
So, you're very welcome. What we're going to do is have a bit of a chat about what you're currently working on. That's what I'm going to ask you about. Sorry, Jeff has probably got loads of other questions for you. All right. So, who will we start with? Drew, I'm going to start with you, since I haven't seen you for ages. So, Drew, your Evil Dr. I was the comic that I first saw you creating. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and how it came about, where you started to make comics?
Well, I started drawing a lot when I was younger, and I started making picture stories about characters that I come up with. And after a while, I was doing kind of comics, they weren't very good ones. I drew stuff and then I just go on to the next thing, and I couldn't really I couldn't really stick to a project. But then after a little while, I started to produce much better versions of them.
You started going to the comic club, didn't you, at Dundee?
Yeah, the comic club at the Vision Building. It's kind of run by academics from Dundee University, and it's like a free thing. It's a free place where you can go and draw comics.
And did you find that really useful going along to that?
Yeah, it was a great resource because it meant that I had more time and I had more time and better resources to draw and make comics.
That's our dedicated time.
Event as well.
Sorry?
I guess you're also getting to meet lots of comic creators at that place as well.
Yeah. I met they held this thing where they had some speakers come in a couple of times, and one of the speakers there was Charlie Adlard, who was at the time the comic laureate.
That's right. And for anybody who's watching doesn't know who Charlie Adlard is, he's the guy who famously drew The Walking Dead.
Yes. Yeah,
amongst other things.
Yeah, the Walking Dead. He was there discussing that, and the other thing he was working on.
You were saying that you used to draw when you were younger, but hey, let's face it, you're not very old at the moment. What age are you?
Sorry?
What age are you?
I'm 11 at the moment.
11?
I'm turning 12 in May.
I see. Okay.
Sorry?
Well, many congratulations when your birthday comes round in a couple of months' time.
You didn't congratulate me on my birthday.
I haven't. It was Jeff's birthday just the other day.
Like on Monday.
It's like, I don't know, 30 something.
How old are you?
I know.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am, Drew?
22.
Oh, you can stay. It's fine. I'm a teacher, Drew, and I always find that the young people I work with have got that. And Colin will find this as well, because I know that young people have this innate inability to guess your name. So you either I could see it in your eyes, and what you did was you went, right, I'm not sure how old he is, so I'm just going to go ridiculously low and hope that I don't offend him. But actually, you probably think I'm closer to 50. With that, aye. So what's your most recent work about, Drew?
Sorry?
What's your most recent comic about? Colin was telling me a wee bit about you getting accepted into the 77. You're gonna have something in there.
Yeah, the most recent piece of work that I did that's being put in the 77 is a 4-page comic about it's a futuristic like in the near future. So in 3022 or something like that. Is that it?
No, I think you said 2077 because you wanted to make it.
It's 2077,
Yeah.
and there's this organization which is like an organization of spies, and it's run by it's like an EU, like that includes spies from all around Europe, and they have to cut and they've been using this method of being able to like bring down gangs and illegal
Money laundering and stuff.
and like money laundering and stuff, and they do it by using these hard drives that can pick up loads of cyber action that's computer action that's like illegal, so that and they can use it to prove certain people guilty as evidence against them, and they hide them in places and they look like keys, and they send in these special agents to plant them and then pick them up after a couple of years. And in my comic, one of this gang in London hires a hitman.
But you can't tell them the story.
Sorry, yeah.
You don't want to give them a spoiler.
It's not like a story. It's like not like a thing.
You're going to tell them the whole story.
No, not the whole story. Just the premise. Like not the whole story.
Colin's laugh. Colin, should he tell you the whole story?
No.
I got given a round. We were at obviously you can't join us for a couple of years, I'm afraid, but we do these we've done 2 of these pub crawls, and I just did what you did there, Drew. As during that, I sat with another comic creator and basically told him my entire plot, and he had to cut me off halfway through and be like, Jeff, you don't want to tell me what's happening.
Drew, grab a bit of pizza, I'll talk to them. Hey guys, Drew's got pizza, so he's just having a wee bite of pizza.
Oh, awesome. Lucky.
Well, thanks for enjoy that, Drew, and we'll chat today for a wee while.
Yeah.
I think we'll head over to Dave, unless Dave's got any questions for Drew.
What kind of pizza have you got? That's what I want to know.
Show him your pizza.
I mean, just let's see the pizza. Nice.
Sorry, Dave.
I mean, it's incredible that just given your age, how you seem really articulate about your ideas, and you seem to have a great handle on these concepts, and the fact you're getting accepted to anthologies and stuff is just really good. So it's more of just a comment. Like, that's really cool, honestly, and it's going to be amazing to see like kind of where you go from here, and kind of, because you're starting out so young, and who knows what cool stuff you're going to make in the future. Do you have other ideas that you're already thinking about?
Yeah, well, me and one of my friends, like one of my friends is really good with art and stuff. He's really imaginative too. And in the future, I want to be able to the publishing name that I use to publish my work is Goldmine Comics. And in the future, I want to
Publish him.
I want to publish other people's work too, and work and collaborate with other people, and and also I want to not just publish comics, but also get into like animation and stuff too.
Wow.
Cool. That's awesome. I mean, it's really impressive. Like, you've got all these kind of ideas so early as well. So yeah, best of luck with it all, man. It's good to see you doing it.
What are you guys all working on at the moment? What are you all working on at the moment? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Dave,
So they want to talk over each other. What? I'm lost now.
What are you working on, Jeff?
I'm in the process of colouring my first comic, which has been written and drawn and is currently on Kickstarter, called The Spirit of Inky. So it's got like 2 weeks left on the Kickstarter.
Oh, okay. We'll try and share it then on Facebook and stuff.
Oh, please, that would be amazing. So it's a adventure superhero story set in war-torn Iraq. Is what I'm working on just now.
Okay, cool.
With a male American protagonist and a female Iraqi protagonist. So playing around with different kind of cultural and gender issues around the Middle East.
I see.
Well, what are you working on?
Me? I'm not doing anything at the moment. No, that's not true. I'm writing my third script for DC Thompson for Commando.
Oh, speaking of Commando.
Oh, cool.
Drew's a big Commando
Hey.
fan.
I
Nice.
remember talking to you about Commando.
Yeah.
And
That
Dave,
brings us nicely on to our second guest, Mr. Cook. What are you working on?
Too much. So I'm currently working on a final draft of Killtopia, which is our cyberpunk, a third issue of our cyberpunk future Japan story about bounty hunters. I'm also working on the art production for Vessels 4, which is our like dark fantasy, kind of like Game of Thrones meets Inception. It's all weird, trippy headspace kind of stuff, set in like the Dark Ages. Also working on a tribute to scrolling beat 'em up games, a comic called BPM, Beat Downs Per Minute, which is like it's a throwback to like 90s retro arcade games like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, mashed up with like old school action movies like Commando, Die Hard, all that kind of stuff. So that's a full graphic novel. So that'll be about 140 odd pages. So I'm just finishing up the script, but we're kind of doing the artwork as we go as well. So it's coming along quite nice. Lastly, I'm writing a book about scrolling beat 'em ups again. So it's like a hardback, 450 page ultimate history to that genre. So like Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, Double Dragon, that whole genre from because it technically
My generation, Double Dragon.
yeah. So technically,
That's
like the popular sort of acceptance is that genre started in 1984, which is the year after I was born, with a game called Kung Fu Master, and I'm doing every year from then all the way up to this year, which is the year Streets of Rage 4 comes out. So it's a whole chronological history of the whole genre.
That's really cool.
It's crazy how big it is. Like
You
the
talk about
project,
Altered
it's,
Beast.
I do indeed. Yeah.
That's my ultimate favourite game. Is Altered Beast.
It's so nostalgic, isn't it?
It's just it's.
Have you guys seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah.
I've not seen the new one, but the first one's great.
Yeah.
Altered Beast is like that. Welcome to your doom at the start of it. That's my favourite thing ever. Sorry.
The amazing voice samples are so good.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, so that's kind of, I say that's all I'm working on, but that's it's a lot. But it's that's kind of me at the moment. I think times as they are, if things are kind of thrown out of whack, I mean, release dates are being pushed back and stuff, which gives me more time to work on it. But that's all for the foreseeable future at the moment.
Brilliant.
sounds
Well,
like a-
Drew's been really lazy, and he's just been watching all the MCU films
In
in chronological order. So today we did the Guardian of the Galaxy,
Volume 1.
Volume 1 and Volume 2.
We're not watching them in chronological order. If you managed to catch them all in one day, that's really disappointing. Actually.
No. we did Winter Soldier before that.
The first one was in like in the timeline kind of version, so it meant that the first one there's like Captain America and then the Captain America.
Yeah, they
The
can hear
first
him.
Avenger, and then the second one was Captain Marvel, and
Yeah, of course.
And then it was like Iron Man 2, Thor. Then so
Yeah.
so
We're just testing you now to make sure you get them in order.
and then
You
drawing all
don't
the
need to
villains.
justify your.
I actually drew all the MCU villains.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Gee, you're filling your time when you're off school, I guess.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting as well, because the MCU villains are often regarded as some of the weaker parts of the whole thing. To be honest, like I think my feelings. It's interesting that they've inspired you enough to draw them. Because my feeling is, apart from Loki and maybe Killmonger, is that the name of the guy in Black Panther?
Yeah, he's the villain.
And Thanos, obviously. The rest of the films suffer from relatively poor villains. So the fact that you've viewed the same medium and taken a different perspective on that's quite cool.
Yeah, because Dr. Eye's not a villain, he is, but he's not, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he's a character, but he's a character, but like nobody, like, 'cause in the franchise, nobody's like kind of really a villain. Like most, like it's not really straight who the antagonist and protagonist is. So because it kind of changes a lot, because originally the antagonist is usually supposed to be the bad guy, and then the protagonist is supposed to be the good guy. Or but and then the other meaning is that the protagonist is the main guy, and the antagonist is the other guy.
Yeah.
And like it's combining like being the main one.
It's mixing it up.
It's like kind of blending the idea of being the main character, but not always being the hero character.
Yeah.
Totally,
That's a nice twist.
Yeah, like Dr. Eye starts off evil, but they don't need to see me. You want me to tell them?
No, you're ruining the plot. Stop it.
The thing with Dr. Eye is that every issue has one side where he's evil and the other side where he's good, and the two stories are set 12 years apart.
12.
And the earlier story is when he's evil, and the later story is when he's been rehabilitated, and he's then a goodie, but you don't know what's changed him till the 10th book. So Drew's currently working on book 5, so it's a little bit different. So that's why he likes the idea of someone who could be really that bad. Like, that's what you didn't think it would be good to do another superhero comic, because there's so many of them, and he wanted to play with the idea of someone bad becoming good. If that makes any sense, yeah? Yeah, sorry.
That's really awesome.
That's cool. Well,
I think
Drew,
it's funny because
I don't mean to exclude you, but we're just going to talk about beer for a wee moment, because each of us have poured a beer, and I'm interested to know what everybody's drinking tonight.
No, I held up the wrong can now.
What have you got there, Dave?
Ruguder.
Oh,
Yeah, clean water
I
lager.
thought it'd be on brand. This is actually a happy accident, by the way.
they're Brugada are doing amazing stuff just now. Actually, they're doing a thing just now that if you go to their website and buy a pack of you can buy packs of the clean water lager, and they'll send them to a member of the NHS as a thank you.
Oh, cool. That's
It's
cool.
really smart. Yeah, they're a really good organisation. So.
Based brewery, I think. Clean Brewgooder, aren't they? Yeah. I first got the lager at a restaurant in Edinburgh, I think. And we were uncertain about whether we could use the Brewgooder name for our podcast, but you contacted them, didn't you?
Yeah, I messaged them and I just got a thumbs up after I told them what we were trying to do. So it was really nice. It's a great lager. I had it in the Box in Glasgow, a nightclub on Sauchiehall Street. Just really like they have it on tap there, and it's really just it's a lovely lager.
As the name suggests, it's clean water lager. It just tastes clean. It's like it's so easy drinking, and it doesn't taste overly alcoholic, so which makes it more dangerous. But I don't know. It goes well with like food and stuff, right? It's just kind of it's like a barbecue kind of beer, right? You just kind of I don't know, hot sun, nice and cool.
I'm a fan. Like Instagram.
This, didn't you? You got a super deal in the supermarket.
We're not allowed to talk about that, Colin.
All right, sorry.
I was in a garden centre that's near where I live, and they were selling Brewgooder clean water lager, but they'd mislabelled it. So instead they were selling packs of 4 for the price of 1 can. So when I went to the lady and I had them price check the 4-pack, and then when she was like, yeah, that's £2, I was like, okay, so I just cleared the shelf. So I had nothing in my house but clean water lager for about a month.
Hey, that's not a bad problem to have. Like let's be honest. I think a
feel bad.
4-pack of this at the co-op down by me cost me about £7.
Yeah.
But
I was going to
the
say,
shelves were like so empty. I was like, I
Yeah.
like this beer, so I was just like, whatever. Like, I'm treating
Yeah.
myself. I don't care.
That's a good beer. That's good.
Did you guys? Sorry to go off topic. Well, no, actually, it's on topic. But all these breweries now are abandoning Weatherspoons. Did you see this today?
Yeah, I am abandoning. We've talked about it very briefly. I think I speak for both of us when I say that I think we are abandoning Weatherspoons as well. We've got a relatively good one in Dunfermline, and I won't set foot in there again under the circumstances. I don't think.
Because I think it was
ridiculous,
West was the first one, wasn't it? West Brewery.
West is
I think Pilot have pulled out as well.
Yeah, I think some of the
That's not surprising.
after these sort of, kind of Brexit comments, Tim Martin's comments about Brexit and stuff as well, and
I think it's just it's a really, really hard time, and I've seen a couple of things from. I can't name the brewer off the top of my head, but I saw the representative of a brewery in Glasgow saying, "Yeah, we have our stuff in Weatherspoons," and I think the crux of their request was, "Please don't buy our beer from Weatherspoons because actually they haven't paid us for it." So like they delivered the keg on as part of an ongoing contract they've got with Weatherspoons, and Weatherspoons had said, Weatherspoons had received it, and then the brewery had been told later on that they weren't going to be paid for the work for the beer they delivered. I'll need to double check my source on that, but I did see something where it was a representative of the brewery on one of the, obviously you can imagine me and Colin are on quite a lot of craft beer related Facebook pages, but that was one of the things that's like, we need to we request that you don't buy our beer from Weatherspoons.
That's mad, isn't it? When a brewery's like, please don't give us money, or at least don't give the pub.
If you're gonna buy our beer, here's a list of alternative locations that you can purchase our beer where we'll continue to receive an income from it. It's quite crazy. Yeah, it's a mad world. A lot of I saw it at Verdant today, who are a really good brewery. They're struggling for distribution, so I think Colin's really good at this, seeing parallels between the brewery industry and the comic industry. We've interviewed a few people where like a brewer has made a point, and Colin's recognised that there's a similarity within the comic industry as well, and it seems to be with and I think that's one of the things Colin wanted to talk about was with regards to what's been going on in society and the world just now. It's a really crazy time for like the comic industry and the beer industry to just weather the storm for the next couple of months.
I mean, I suppose like to loop it back to comics. That's a good, interesting point. Like I suppose like your micro brewers is it fair to say that they're indies as well? Is that kind of, are they comparable to your indie? Are they? Yeah. So I guess they must be feeling like, how do we?
They're even drinking.
Sorry, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, some of the small breweries that we've spoke to or visited, it's one person or maybe two or three people.
Totally.
Even places like Pilot are only a handful of people.
That's what I was going to say. One of my favourite breweries, Inner Bay, is one lady. So Inner Bay, a small brewery based in Inverkeithing, is Kate. She. I think she pretty much does everything. Then her husband helps her do bits and pieces, but she is the brewery. So, I mean,
now that because I'm not too. This is all kind of new to me as well. So now that like pubs are closed and stuff, then will people like her like will they need to just rely on direct sales now, just to whoever local people that kind of thing?
Beer shop in Dunfermline that sells a lot of the local stuff, and now they're effectively closed. They're taking orders, and you can basically do a curbside pickup. They were going to do deliveries out, but I think they just found that just overwhelming. Mm-hmm. So now that's what they're doing. Basically, a few days a week, you can do a curbside. You pay in advance, they box up for you and get ready, and just you can go and pick it up. So, and some of the smaller brewers are doing deliveries, but only within a certain radius.
Yeah, it's actually really tricky because I'm obviously as somebody that wants to support as much as possible in both industries. I'm finding I got quite a lot. Either I bought or got quite a lot of beer for my birthday on Monday from the craft beer merchant. I also bought direct from Cool because I understand that, obviously it's like comics. If you buy direct from the creator, the creator gets the biggest cut. And particularly with beer at the moment, it's really hard because actually we've got so many. Even because we've been doing the podcast for about a year. Not only is there loads of breweries that we like, there's like obviously Tiny Rebel's probably one of my favourite brewers, but they'll do fine because they're such a massive organisation, Tiny Rebel. But there is smaller breweries that we totally love, and then actually sort of spreading your allegiance, trying to ensure that you support them all is really, really tricky. So say I got a box from Cool last week, but then I'm like looking at it, and there's breweries even quite close to us, like Inner Bay, Cross Borders, Beath Brewing, and those are just a couple kind of near where we live. Where I'm like, there's only so much support to go around. It's really, really tricky. I think I don't know. The punchline to what I'm trying to say is that we need to keep an eye on if you're into the beer, keep an eye on your local folk, and the same with comics. Me and Colin were talking about this earlier in the week. The amount of the hit. I've interviewed quite a lot of comic creators for the podcast in the coming weeks. The hit that comic creators, and you'll be feeling it as well, Dave. And I mean, my comic's not even out yet, and I'm feeling it slightly. Is the fact that there's no conventions to sell your stuff is nuts.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's actually pushed back. Our Kickstarters as well are now all TBC because, our targets are. I mean, our books are really big, page wise. I mean, production cost wise, they're quite expensive. Because it's not. We don't do singles. We do bumper, double size, or even almost trade size kind of books. And which means we need to raise more money, and we're not confident that people are wanting to or would spend that much now. Understandably, folk are losing their, not to bring the tone down, but folk are losing their jobs and worried about cash and that. So we're just going to try and make as much of the book as possible, and then once maybe things, hopefully, fingers crossed, things get back to normal, then we might launch our Kickstarters. But yeah, I mean, you see artists and stuff, who, they were teed up to work with a writer, but they've pulled their projects and now they don't have money coming in, and it's a really volatile kind of time, so it's true, what you're saying. It's if you've got a local artist that commission them for a unique piece, or just try and chuck some money their way. If there's someone that you like who's struggling, that's the best way, really. Just chuck them some money, commission them, get them on something. Everyone's kind of just looking for the next gig at the moment and just trying to make sense of it all. But
it's really hard.
I'm sure it's true what you're saying about Kickstarters. People are putting them off. There's some running just now, but they're kind of struggling in the last few days. I had a Kickstarter that just ended last weekend, and you expect that spike in the last few days, quite a substantial spike. And although there was a little spike, it was nothing like any of the previous Kickstarters that I'd had. I'd only 3 or 4 extra backers, in the last couple of days. Normally, I would expect probably about almost 30 to 50% more people sometimes.
You always kind of bank on that, don't you? But it's kind of telling that didn't happen. It just speaks to the kind of climate we're in.
Mine's is just funded, which is quite it's I'm literally a couple £1 over what my target was, and I'm finding that quite tricky. Because I do not my concern is the other side as well. There's I completely 100% understand that finances in a lot of households will be quite tight over the next couple of months, and as somebody that has been in the situation before, comics and beer will be the first things that kind of start to fill. They'll start to be. If I have to start pulling the purse strings, those will be the first things to start being reduced myself. So the fact that my Kickstarter is sitting on that just funded and no more threshold is creating quite a bit of anxiety, to be honest.
That's good though, man. You need to chuck me the link afterwards as well.
I will do, man. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
Colin says that traditional.
Jeff, send us the
I will
link as
do.
well.
I'll share it. Don't worry. We've
No,
never talked
no
about it.
memory.
I've always actually just shied away from. I think Colin has as well. We've always shied away from like using the Brewgooders as a way to promote other activities. But so thank you for asking the question and giving us an excuse to.
Drew's got a website, and I have to update his website quite a lot. And we didn't put any of the 77 stuff, like, didn't mention it on the website because his website's Gold Lion Comics.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always shared all the podcasts and all the sort of profiles of everyone who's on his Facebook timeline for Gold Lion Comics. But we've tried to make sure we haven't blurred the lines or it's quite difficult because we're still
that conflict
learning.
of interest.
Yeah. So we've tried to shout out everybody that has contributed to the 77, and like it was really great because his original art kind of went away as well as a sort of special gift or something. But that was our first experience with Kickstarter. We didn't even really know about Kickstarter. So when Ben Coolers told us about it, we were just like, yeah, whatever we can do. Just like happy to do anything at all, and it's been a really good experience because Ben's been really good at. Basically, I'm stupid. I don't know anything, so he's been explaining it to me. So, yeah. But we just try and promote other people's stuff on his Facebook page, but try and keep the Gold Lion Comics thing kind of separate. Yeah. So that, it's just trying to do it in the right way, I suppose. That's so it's difficult. We're still learning.
I hate to break up this great conversation, but we're coming up to nearly 9 o'clock, which is time for our pub quiz. So just really remains for us to thank you all for
taking over
tonight. Kellyanne and Drew and Dave.
We'll get everyone back on as well because that's been amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you back in some future podcasts, and you can tell us about new stuff that's coming.
I'm going to contract Dave down to do our. I'm sorry, Colin. Keep talking over you. So, I think I'm on a slight delay.
Pub quiz is starting just a few minutes, and there's a few extra people joining us for that. So you guys are welcome to join in. It's not just about beer. It's not just about comics. It's kind of a bit more general knowledge-y and fun tonight. So please stick around. James isn't with us yet. James should be defending his title.
I can hear him. I don't know if you guys have heard him, but my wife is loving this. My wife's loving the house party app. I don't know if you guys are using that. It seems to be the in thing for because you can do wee pub quizzes and that on it. There's an app called House Party, and I can hear him. I don't know if my wife's voice is drifting through onto the recording. I can hear her. I can hear my wife and James and James's wife Ode shouting at each other next door. But that's all obviously happening via.
Go and give him a shout and tell him to get onto the pub quiz to defend his title.
I will do.
Right, folks. So I'm going to stop recording now. Thanks again for joining us, Dave and Drew.